And welcome to the Spoiler Kings. I'm Brian the Grizzly, alone this time, I guess. Um, you all know what's going on with Tank. If you didn't hear, he's basically on paternity leave since he had his little baby this weekend. So congratulations to Tank. And Brandon is technically in England. So yeah, he's been traveling all over England. So it's pretty cool. Um, yeah, but you guys are stuck with me, so I'm still going to talk about it. Thank you guys for joining today and listening. And we're going to really go over Game of Thrones, not a Game of Thrones, sorry, House of the Dragon, which is just like Game of Thrones. But I would love to hear what everyone thinks about it because this episode was, I don't know, it's kind of intense. There's a lot going on. Um, First, of course, we come in, we get another time jump. So we get another 2 or 3 years. How do we know that? Because now we have Queen Alicent, who's pregnant for the second time after she already gave birth to the King Viserys' new male heir, Aegon. So he's 2, and she's pregnant again. And no one else is really talking about how weird this is. Raineria is basically the only one that's kind of like standoffish. I mean, she's a 17-year-old girl, and her best friend just married her father and gave birth to her new siblings. So yeah, it's kind of weird. So even for this era, but so she's kind of really standoffish. She's not around for all the events, and they're going to do a second naming day. So of course they're going to actually do a hunt. So they're going off into the woods. They're going to try to find this great white it's a deer basically is what it is, and going to try to find it for the king because it's a good omen. So before the dragons, these great deers were basically the whole symbol for the kingdom, for kingdoms and for kings, and they're going to go try to find one. So this family dynamic is just kind of strange. While this is happening, the Crabtree, the war is not going great. Um, Basically, Damon and Corlys are losing. They're losing the war, and the king has not sent reinforcements yet, and it's just them, and they're just losing. I mean, the Crab King is winning. They're in a stronghold where they could go back into the mountain, into their little tunnels, and they're having a hard time breaking through. And when we get to them, they're basically talking about what can they do. What's the next step? And Corliss is kind of asking everybody like, "Hey, anyone has a good idea?" And his brother basically says, "Why is the king not helping?" And no one really has a good idea, no a good answer. So if that's the case, then why are we following Damon? Why should we follow him at all? Um, it's lot of stuff going on, and we actually start to realize that everything is falling apart. And at the same time, Raineria is now, as I said, 17 years old. She's now ready at age to become someone's wife. So the king has to think about that too. So now, to strengthen his kingdom again, he needs to think about who could she marry and who's the next best option without without a better word, pissing off his daughter. Because that's basically what she is. She's a pissed off teenager right now, and he has to marry her off. And she feels like he only made her heir, to appease everyone right then. And that's now that he has a male heir, that she's going to be passed over. And I mean, Viserys is actually struggling with this because if anyone knows they have a daughter at that age, it's hard to get through them. What do you do? So that's where we're at. I don't know. I don't know how I felt about the whole beginning of this thing. The time jump I think, was necessary to get to a point where we have a male heir. Now we actually have other people vying for the kingdom. they actually have good claim. The first male heir, Raineria, who's been our named heir, and we have Damon, who right now is losing the war. And King Viserys had a something he had to figure out. What is he going to do? Is he going to follow? Is he going to continue to let him just falter, or is he going to help his brother and try to win this war? Because either one can be seen as weakness. Well, as we go into the episode, we find out that Viserys decides to send a letter to his brother, said he's sending ships and he's sending 2,000 soldiers to help him with the war. And when Damon sees that, he freaks out. And Damon decides to go with the plan, the kind of really shaky plan they had, that someone goes and draws them all out. So he he goes and he basically draws everyone out. He goes in, he fights everyone, and I don't know, many times he's almost like he was ready for death. The way the whole fight went, it looked like he was ready for death, and he was going in. See how his fighting style is so aggressive, so strong. He is a really good warrior, so there's no one that could doubt that. It's one of those things that you see in songs are written about. And he gets to a point where he's killed maybe 20, 25, 30 people already, and their archers are shooting arrows at him, and he is basically dodging everything, and then finally he gets hit with 2 of them. But it's enough to draw all their defenses out, everyone out of their caves. Even the Crab King is out. He's able to draw all that out, which is crazy. And by that time, reinforcements come. So the dragons come. Dragon riders are coming. They're blowing fire out. All his troops are coming in, and they surrounded the Crab King's troops, and they're killing everybody. And Damon basically won the war before Viserys' troops could come in there. So that's kind of what we were left with. Damon sees the Crab King while all this stuff is going on, runs inside the caves and cuts him in half and brings his body out for everyone to see and drags it out. The coldest thing I've ever seen in my life. just Damon is cold. And this is going to change everything. Because as you see in the next episode, they're going to name him King of the High Seas, because I'm telling you, these are songs that people, soliloquies and all these things, these are songs that people write and sing about the story of what he just did. And now he's going to have a big claim to being king. So now Viserys has his brother Damon, who is just slaughtered and won a war by himself. He has his real heir, Raineria, that he's already named 3 years ago, that he promises again in this episode that she's going to remain his heir. And then he has his son, Aegon. So now everyone wants in the kingdom wants him to name him. So he's in between a rock and a hard place, and he has to choose Raineria a husband. But in this episode, he finally meets with her, sits down with her, and tells her, "I'm going to allow you to choose the person that you want to be with." Big mistake. Huge mistake. Because she points out how he got to choose what was best for the kingdom. He didn't marry the person who was best for the kingdom. He married who he wanted to marry, who had to be her best friend. And now he's telling her that she needs to do these things, and he's like, "Oh yeah, she's right. I should give her a chance. I want you to be happy. I'm going to choose something for her." And he tells her, "I'm going to let you choose the person that you're going to marry." Why would you tell a 17-year-old girl that? I have no idea. She's going to rebel against what you think is right. And now you also tell the person who's supposed to be your heir that you're choosing, that she gets to choose whoever she wants. So, and it's going to reflect badly on you if she doesn't choose the person that you think is right. So this is where we are right now after this episode. So what did I like about the episode? It's really complicated. I actually didn't mind. Everyone talks about these time jumps. I really didn't mind the time jump, and we got everything we need to know in the first like 15 minutes. We understand how Allison and Rhaeneria's relationship has changed, how much she really just doesn't talk to her, we're not involved anymore. And you can see it hurts Allison, but she's doing what she needs to do. Rhaenyra is just kind of just treating her like the woman who married my father, no longer my friend. I'm no longer talking to you about that. But that's real relationship. That's how things go. That's how you see stepmothers are treated. And now you throw in that whole part with them being friends, and actually, I think it was more than friends, which is cuts you even deeper. Um, yeah, it's interesting. I like that. I love the fighting with the dragons. There's so much going on with dragons. So you see all these dragons, and you never see them fight. But now we actually get to see, them fighting and winning wars because they're dragon riders. So it makes sense why that family is who they are. I love what Damon did. I mean, Damon knew if he waited for his brother to win the war for him, he loses all the leverage, he loses all the power. So instead, he took the fight to them. And I'm telling you, that style was so aggressive, so unbelievable. It's almost like a Herculean thing that he did. And that's how they're going to treat him now, like like Hercules. He's a hero. Heroes can get power. And if you have the entire kingdom thinking that you are that great, or even the most, I think they're the second most. They have the most money, and they're all behind Damon. That's power. Powerful people being behind you is power, and I think that's going to really give him so much leverage. Also, I mean, Viserys is, you can see the stress on his face. He knows what he did. He knows he hurt his daughter. He know he did right for his kingdom, but he wants to do right by his daughter. And it's hard trying to rationalize with a 17-year-old. And you can see it on his face, the stress that he's going through. I mean, you see, he got drunk off his ass. He was sitting there in front of everyone. Everyone saw him drinking. He was just drinking all the wine. And he was stressed. It was like a dad in a bar just drinking shots at the shot after shot after shot. And, he has nothing. There's no other answer, because as much as he loves his queen, it seems like he does actually really prefer her, but she's not on his level. Rhaenyra's mother was on his level, someone that he grew up with and, could tell him things, but she's not. So he's really alone, because if you talk to Allison about Rhaenyra, it's just they had that relationship before. So you really can't really talk to her on that level. You can say things and hear her points, but she can't be part of the decision, because then Rhaenyra would immediately push him away and push the decision away and do the exact opposite. Just like she did in the episode 2, when so Rhaenyra comes back. Basically, she just runs away and runs into the woods, and she's gone for 2 days. And Sir Kristen, the night that she named a night, went after her. And through that, you start to see that they've had a relationship, or not a relationship, but just they have developed feelings and get to know each other a lot better. And there's more there than what we just seen. And that's going to cause more problems for Viserys, but he doesn't know that yet. But I mean, there's other answers for her. You can court his son. He can marry off to him. Aegon, his son, he can marry her off to him, the 2-year-old. Because now they're both of the same blood, and now no one can ask anymore who's going to be the heir. She should be the heir till he turns 18, and then he'll take over, and then you have no more problem. So it's either joining the 2 great houses, or you eliminate everything. The only problem is, will she be able to even produce an heir for him? When he gets to age, which is nasty, but whatever. That's where we are. I mean, Corlys' son was Lenore. Laenor, because Laena is the daughter that Viserys could have married, and so Laenor, I believe, is the son. So he can marry off to him. But now he has three people really vying for that title. And you already see he's not a great decision maker. He makes terrible decisions all the time. So I don't know what he's going to do. And he's going to have pressure coming from all sides. He made a promise to Raineria that you're not going to be skipped over. He has a son and his wife, Allison, the queen, who's pushed for a son. And then you have your brother who's now coming up from the rear, and he's going to be seen as someone who's a king. And should be the heir. And he was the heir once before. So he has total understanding and he has a lot of power. So this is going to be really interesting. Things I didn't like about the episode. I would like to see more of the actual war with the Crab King and see what they were doing, the warriors were doing, how they were defeating Corliss and Damon. Because even though what Damon did was amazing and he killed a lot of people and he was unbelievably aggressive, it didn't seem like they had that many troops. And they kept on saying that they outnumbered them. So I didn't see how that was possible. And maybe if we saw more of the war, it would make more sense. But it really just, I didn't understand that much. Raineria, just like anyone else, was annoying as hell. 17-year-old girls making those type of decisions in front of everyone. It's just annoying as hell. But Viserys didn't have a leg to stand on with her because he did the exact same crap and hurt her. If he would have made the right choice, was a Lena. Lena. If he chose her, Raineria would have been fine. She would have been fine with everything. She knew she had 14 years to deal with all these things. She didn't have to worry about, another kids coming in right now. The houses would have been stronger. The kingdom, she probably wouldn't have been. They wouldn't have worried about her being heir for a while. But he made his choice for Allison, and that just sucks. But she was just getting so fucking annoying. Sorry to curse, but it was so much. Like, come on, you know your place. Get over it. Stop making everything a fight. And that's what she was doing. I do like what they're doing with Sir Kristen and Raineria, and how you see the relationship kind of develop. But I think this is going to be the thing that keeps her from ever becoming king or being, I guess, king over everything. She could be the heir, but she could be the king, the queen that never was, just like this, because of these reasonings, because of what she's doing. But what if Raineria and Damon join forces? This is what I've been saying for the last 3 weeks. I know it's probably not going to happen, but I just think there's so much like, and they keep on saying it through all these episodes. Even when Sirius was sitting talking to Raineria, telling her like, "Man, you're just like my brother. Why you guys need to be thorns in my side? The two people I love the most. Why are you guys the biggest problems?" And that's what makes me think, because they are that way, and I don't feel like Viserys is going to be around more than 2 more episodes, that they will eventually join forces and figure out a way to coexist. And this is going to be a bloodbath. I really believe so. But that's why I really hope. I hope that we really start to know more about the relationship between Raineria and Damon, and see. I felt it felt like Damon did more with raising her, or was around her even more than her father, because we hear from his soliloquies he's had with talking to Allison and everything, that he really wasn't around for her. He had this vision. He wants to always be this great visionary and all stuff, and he had this vision of a boy, and so he kind of just ignored her, and he felt so shamed that he did that after killing his wife, her mother. That's what kind of pushed him towards her. And did he make that decision because that's what he really wanted, or did he make that decision because he was just ashamed? I don't know, but he has problems. He really does. And he just seems to be such a weak king. And it's almost it's hilarious that he was the one chosen. Um, also, you also see the Crab King. You see, I think he looked like he suffered from grayscale. I wish they would add, kind of got into that a little bit more. What's going on in the seas? Why they're what in their life is making them live that way? That would be interesting to see. And of course, you know what? I just want to see more dragons. I'm glad they're fighting, but I would love to see more dragons in the episodes. Um, that's what I'm really hoping to see more than anything. Um, yeah. But now that Damon has won that war, so now the House of Valerian owes Damon everything. So they're going to be supporting him, and they're going to name him the king of their area. What do you do then? King of the high seas, something like that. What do you do? And now that that Viserys didn't help him, he has even more claim. Even though he was going to, it didn't matter. He didn't. He waited too long. So, and does it show weakness that he was going to help him after all that? Maybe. So, this is just a lot of things going on. I mean, this is a really interesting episode, and I can't wait to see where they go with this. Yeah. So, if anyone has any comments, let me know. I would love to answer them and talk about this and just kind of figure out where we go from here. Because obviously, I want to see the whole world burn. I want to see everything that could go wrong, and I want to see everything that Viserys is trying to set up just fall apart. But that's just me and Martin. As he says, hell yeah, maybe a dragon fight. I would love to see that. They need to have that. Both of them on dragons. And I don't know if you guys ever saw what's the movie? One with the Dragon Riders. I see it all the time on Netflix. I think it should be like that. It's more of a Norse culture, but I would love to see them fighting on dragons. Even if it's like Aegon, or it was Aegon. I can't remember Urion, or I can't remember what the movie that is, but I feel like that was a good dragon fight movie, and they need to have these type of things with this in this real world used to fight with their dragons. I would love to see that. It's just some of us just want to see the world burn. Hey, it's me and you, man. Yes, How to Train Your Dragon. That's what it is. How to Train Your Dragon. I would love to see those type of dragon fights. I think that would be amazing. And if we got that, I think it'll make everyone happier. There won't be any more pissing and moaning about the time jumps. We know there are going to be time jumps. I don't know why everyone's upset about it. There are two different actresses for Allisons, for Raineria. They're going to get older. Half of these episodes are going to be the kids, and the other half are going to be adults. That's just what it is. So stop complaining about it. I don't understand why people are upset about it. But it is interesting that they had 10 million viewers for episode 2, and they had 25 million viewers for episode 3. And I love that. Mark said, that's DreamWorks, Martin. They're all good. They all make good ones. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought they did a great job with it, and can't wait to see the next episode. Just give thanks to everybody that's been following us and subscribing and everything. I mean, you guys are the reason that we come in every day and try to drop it, some information. Now I know the Tank's not here right now, but we're gonna still be putting out videos, and we're wishing Tank the best, and hopefully you guys can come in and contribute to and with the comments and everything. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the stuff. Thank you for coming in and listening to us rant and talk about all these things that matter to us. So this is just me saying goodbye. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.